Hello and welcome back to another exciting episode of Comfort Food with Uncle Dan. This is going to be part 2 of our series of the Italian buffet for a rehearsal dinner for a wedding. Today we're going to do authentic meatballs. These are not anywhere near the frozen stuff in the grocery store, not even close. Don't even waste your money. These are very easy to make, just a few steps, but let's get started. The first thing we need is the base to our sauce. The sauce is going to take a little while. We are making it from homemade, so we need to start our base. We're going to make what's called a sofrito. Sofrito is, mine's going to be carrots, celery, and onions. In other styles, Mirepoix, it's been called Holy Trinity. Italian food, it is sofrito. I learned this trick from another YouTuber, and Benzo's Plate, I believe it's called. I like to think he's my friend. Never met him, never will. He lives in Australia, or did at the time. An Italian chef, fantastic. Normally, your sofrito would be just cube up your vegetables, nice and small, and fry them in a pan. Well, he found a better way. We're gonna put all this in the food processor because we need all of these to blend really well with our sauce. So our veggies are in. Because I'm making 2 pounds of meatballs, I doubled the sofrito. Normally, if it was only 1 pound, you would use 1 carrot, 1 celery, 1 onion. I'm using 2 carrots, 2 celery, and an onion and a half because the onion that I got was, half of it wasn't very good. I don't know what's going on with produce nowadays, but you can't get good potatoes or onions. So about 2 tablespoons of good olive oil. Maybe a little bit more. And that's it. Let's go ahead and put our lid on. Uh-oh. Anybody else fight with their lid? There we go. Let's see if this works. I can see right off the bat I need more olive oil in there because it's not blending. So let's go with maybe a 1/4 cup total. Just a little bit more. I'm trying to make I'm gonna make a paste, if you will, so we can get all the flavors of the veg, but we're not gonna have the texture. I don't want that texture in my meatballs. Beautiful. Perfect. We got it. Took a minute. Nice and smooth. Let me show you what we're going to do with that. Excuse me. Living in Tennessee this time of year, the allergies are real. So we do need to cook the sofrito. It's only going to take a second because it'll finish cooking in our sauce. So we're going to go with a nice medium low heat olive oil in the pan. Look at this. Yeah, that's what we're after. That's nice. That's a nice paste. Right into the pan. There's some dishes that you want the rustic, like lasagna. You want a rustic sofrito in there, and just a little bit bigger. I want this to disappear. We're gonna get the flavor of the onions and celery and the sweetness of the carrots. We don't use any sugar. You don't need to. And this is it. We're just gonna let this cook for a minute. While that's doing its thing, let's get, I don't have a lot of outlets on my island. So we need to get our sauce ready. Again, I'm using the Cento tomatoes. These are crushed tomatoes. What I like about these is the only thing that's in here is tomatoes. That's it. There's no additives, there's no salt, there's sugar, nothing. It's just a tomato, and it's a very good tomato. But we do need to, because these are crushed, we need to kind of puree these a little bit. Hopefully I can do this without wearing it. Got it. Our sofrito is coming right along. Oh, I wish you could smell that. Amazing. You put that on a piece of bread and that's it. Okay, it's almost done. Let's get one more cup, or one more can. Crushed tomatoes. We just want this smooth. Unless you want a chunky sauce, go ahead and do you. Do whatever you want. There's no right or wrong way. I'm going after a smooth sauce. And I don't know what's right or wrong. I'm just a old redneck boy who lives in Tennessee, cooking Italian food. I know what I like. And I know you're gonna like it too. So that's it. Our sofrito is done. Now, if we had the bigger pieces, it would take, maybe 10 minutes or so to get them soft. This is done. So setting this off to the side, maybe we need to start our sauce. Dutch oven. And we're going to start off at a good medium heat. A little more olive oil. Not much, just coat the bottom of the pan. Now, I'm going to take about half Yeah, I'm gonna use half of our sofrito in our sauce because we've got somewhere else for this to be. Yeah, that's perfect. And this is already cooked, so we're not trying to cook it. We're just getting it hot. And let's go with our tomatoes. Let's see, look, just that slight little mix. Nice and smooth. Fantastic. Now you say put water in the can, wash the can, all that. I don't want water in my sauce. It's got plenty of juice from the tomatoes, and that's all I want. In fact, these may have water left in them that we're going to want to get out, which will come out in the cooking process. Just a nice, gentle stir to get everything incorporated. Okay. We're going to set this over on our stove to get it out of the way. We're going to put a cover on it and let this simmer for, I'm going to check it at 30 minutes. I'd like it to go about 45 minutes, but that's all. That's all we're putting in this right now. Later on, we're going to add some fresh basil to it. Well, I've got some right here. You know what? Who are we kidding? Let's do it. Let's do some right now. We're pulling it off. We're not cutting it. Don't cut it. Just break it off with your hands. All the flavor and oil will go right in the sauce. There's one more straggler. There we go. We found a home for you. There we go. We can put more in later. Okay. Now, I bet you're saying there's something missing. Garlic, garlic, garlic. We're not using garlic. First off, it doesn't need it. This will have so much intense flavor. You won't even, unless you put a bunch of garlic, you won't even taste it. Number two, no, it doesn't need garlic. I don't know where that came from, that Italian food needs garlic, oregano, and basil. Yes, it needs basil. Sometimes it needs oregano. I use oregano in my Mexican food more than I do Italian food. To each their own. This is going on the stove. 30 minutes, we'll check it. Medium-high heat, covered, ready to go. Let's get this out of the way. Excuse me while I clean my mess. Okay, let's start on the meatballs. We are using a pound of ground beef, and a pound of ground pork. The pork is not the Italian sausage. You could use that, but we're seasoning our own. It doesn't matter. So a pound of ground pork, pound of ground hamburger. In we have a bowl of water, some Italian bread. This was actually day-old bread at our grocery store yesterday, so it was significantly reduced and perfect for what we're doing. We're going to soak that in the water. We have breadcrumbs. We have parsley, and of course our lovely sofrito. I'll make sure that, yep, that's not hot. anymore, so we're going right into the bowl with our sofrito. Okay, I don't really want to waste any, but there we go. Sofrito in. We need breadcrumbs. I'm going to start with about half a cup. These are the Italian flavored seasoned ones. It's what we had in the pantry. It doesn't matter. Your bread. Make sure you go ahead and get the water out of there. What this bread is going to do is keep our meatballs moist. Of course, you can soak them in milk. A lot of people do that. I think water works just as well. I'm using 3 pieces because I have 2 pounds of meat. You would normally, I guess you could use just 2, whatever you need to get the consistency. I need to turn our sauce down. There we go. I can hear it sitting over there bubbling away. Okay, breadcrumbs are in, sofrito's in, our actual bread with water is in. We need to add an egg to help with the binder, but it's 2 pounds of meat, so I'm going to use 2 eggs, 1 egg for each pound. Look, I should have done it in a bowl to keep the shells out. Well, these will be crispy. Egg number 2. So hopefully you watched episode 1 where we made stuffed shells with a very light and delicate sauce, tomato sauce. This sauce, even though it's on the same principle, totally different level, totally different taste. And it's gonna be better with our, you know, our more rustic, I guess you'd say, meatballs. Next, parsley, fresh parsley. Okay, don't be scared of the parsley. Let's go ahead and put that in there. You could sit here and you could chop it up. You could, what, I don't care. Do it with your hands. That's why God gave us these hands. They're the best tools in the kitchen. I knew you were going to notice I'm wearing the same shirt that I wore yesterday. It's because yesterday is still today through the magic of YouTube, I guess. To be perfectly honest, I forgot to change my shirt, so you think it's a different day. But I've got time today to work in the kitchen, and that is my favorite thing to do. If my boys were here and my wife, it would even be more perfect, but I guess I'm the only one that's able to be home today. So. A little bit more. I want to be generous. I want to make sure everybody gets some of this nice fresh parsley. That will do the trick. Right there. The last ingredient. Excuse me. Parmigiano Reggiano. Now, you could use pecorino, which is fantastic. Couldn't find it. And this town, I mean, we're right down the road from Nashville. We're maybe a half hour from Nashville. And I know we can get everything we need up there, but whew, that could be an all-day affair with traffic and everything else. So we use what we got. Okay, meatball time. My hands were clean. I washed them yesterday. Put them in here and get to work. Really, really start working this mixture. You've got quite a bit to go together. If you want to put gloves on, some people don't like to touch raw meat. And maybe it's a texture thing or whatever. Hands are clean, surfaces are clean, you're fine. kind of like to feel what I'm doing here. I can feel if I have too much bread in one area, maybe some dry meat, I don't know. Just get in here. Okay. This is about, I think it's a little too wet. I'm gonna wanna add the rest of my breadcrumbs. I've got maybe a quarter cup left. Because we want this to be nice and firm. So A, meatballs hold together. B, we can form a meatball. Here we go. Much better. That's about what we're looking for. You can see what a beautiful mix. I've only got one camera going today. It's a struggle. You'll forgive me. Let's go ahead and get these hands washed up. I told you I washed my hands. Speaking of washing hands, you know what the difference is between a mechanic and a chef? The mechanic washes his hands before he pees. Okay, we need to keep our hands wet. So just get some, we're using the water we soak the bread in, it's fine. Put some water in the palm of your hand, make sure they're nice and wet, and we're gonna start forming a meatball. Make them however you want. That one is a little big. I'm going for, let's say, ping pong ball. That would be good. Press, 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 roll. Nice tight meatball. My pan has parchment paper on it. There's a couple ways you could do this. You could pan fry these. You could pan fry these and put them in the oven, or you could just bake them in the oven. That's what we're doing. We're going to bake them in the oven because when they come out of the oven, they're going into the sauce, and they'll ride in that sauce for a couple hours to get nice and happy. Another perfect meatball. And you'll figure out, you'll be able to feel in your hand if you got the right size. And we're making these too. We're just gonna test this recipe. I know it's good, I've been doing it forever. But the sofrito's different. I've never done it that way, so I'm kind of excited to try that. And we need to see how these are gonna freeze. The meatballs are something I can freeze in advance and vacuum seal. I wouldn't make them this far in advance, but everything else needs to be made the day before or even the day of the event, which is fine. If all the prep work is done prior, it'll go together quickly. And I know that we've already got some really good volunteers that are gonna help us in the kitchen. So Renee and I can be with our son and our future daughter-in-law, which is very exciting. So I'm gonna make a mess of meatballs and you guys come right back. Meatballs are done. The perfect little meatball. That may be kind of hard to see, I know. I'm sorry. These are going in the oven, 350 degrees. We're gonna check them at 20 minutes, but I think they need about a 30-minute ride. Our sauce is doing good. We need to keep mixing that. We stir that about every 15 minutes. We do not want it to stick to the bottom. So these are going in the oven. I'll let you know how they turn out. Meatballs are done. Well, they're done in the oven. Let's check them out. So, let's take a look at what we got. First off, they're perfectly done, they're soft. Look at the crust that forms on the bottom. I absolutely love this. Now the next step, this is going to come into play. Well, let's do the test. If you got a good meatball, you should be able to cut it with a fork without it crumbling. It shouldn't fall apart. Ours did perfect. All the way through, it's done. And it is so moist. Perfect. Perfect, perfect. Can't help myself. Look at that. I got something running down my hand. Can you see that? Oh my Lord. So good. Let's get the sauce. Wow. Sometimes I amaze myself. Okay, the sauce has been simmering, but we're not done yet. We need to take all these meatballs and carefully place them in the sauce. Yeah, all the bits. I say carefully. It's a pretty good meatball, but they will break apart, and we don't want that. So they're going for a swim. And they're gonna sit in this on a low simmer, very low simmer. We don't have to cook them. We're just trying to get the flavor of the sauce and the flavor of the meat into the sauce. So we're just gonna kind of marry these together, make everybody happy. And there we go. Gently give it a mix. More folding them over. We just want the sauce to cover all of them. They all need to be in the pool. All right. Okay. These are going back on the stove, covered, and let's allow 30 to 45 minutes, maybe even close to an hour. But they're just gonna sit there on a real slow simmer. Okay. Okay, through the magic of YouTube, I'm ready to show you some meatballs. Let's get our plate. Oh my. Oh. Man, I wish you could smell that. Let's take a look. Fantastic. Homemade meatballs with a homemade tomato sauce. Absolutely perfection. I don't know if you can see that, if you can taste it. You want that? I do. It is so good. The flavor of the meatballs has seeped into the sauce. The sauce, of course, has gone into the meatball. That sofrito that we made, I mean, you can taste the sweetness of the carrot. I really don't taste the onion or the celery, which I'm surprised. Where if I didn't puree that, you would have little bits of it in your meatball and you can taste it. I don't really care for that. This is perfect. Perfect meatball. Guys, stay tuned. The next one's coming. Not sure what it's going to be yet. We have several recipes to try. This is a winner. The stuffed shells are a winner. Oh, I can't wait. I cannot wait. But I tell you one thing, I'm gonna eat this one. Till next time, take care of each other.